It's not the first time, it's not the second. It's yet another chapter in a story that repeats itself, and each time with the same paradox. In the same diocese where a bishop has closed the Mass of all times almost everywhere, tradition has just purchased 26 acres of land for building. On one side, a door is closing. On the other, a construction site is opening. Restrictions on expansion in the exact same place, in the exact same month. By the end of this video, you'll understand why this isn't an isolated case, but a specific pattern, and why it reveals much more than meets the eye about the future of the Church. Let's go back a little over a year to the first chapter of this story. We are in the Diocese of Charlotte, North Carolina, USA. A new bishop, Michael Martin, arrives there, and one of his first moves, announced in May 2025, is to drastically restrict the use of the Old Mass. Traditional celebrations that continued in various parishes are being closed. Mass is being concentrated in a single designated chapel, with capacity restrictions in place. A limited number of faithful in a single location. Traditionalists are effectively told to remain tied to their local parish and the new rite. And it doesn't end there. In a subsequent pastoral letter in early 2026, the same bishop even eliminated the altar rails for kneeling communion. Even those who would like to kneel to receive the Eucharist, as has been done for centuries, find their support removed. Small signs, but all pointing in the same direction. Let's move on to the second chapter, which is very recent. It takes us to the summer of 2026, within a larger story involving the Society of St. Pius X. On July 1st in Icone, Switzerland, the Society consecrated new bishops without the Pope's mandate. The next day, July 2nd, the Holy See declared that act a schism. Let's be honest, as always, consecrating bishops without papal mandate is a serious act, and Rome has reacted harshly. This is a fact, not a detail. And here comes the Bishop of Charlotte's move. On July 17th, he published a pastoral letter addressed specifically to the faithful associated with the fraternity. The door of the Church is open, he writes, inviting them to return to full communion and not to attend the liturgies of the fraternity, now declared schismatic. Affectionate words, on paper, but spoken by someone in that same diocese who had made life very difficult for those who loved the ancient liturgy. And here, the story takes its most surprising turn. Because we're coming to the third chapter, the one that started it all. The traditionalist response isn't just words, it's actions. On July 13, 2026, the community of St. Anthony, served by the priests of the fraternity for over 45 years, closed the purchase of 26 acres of land. The location is Iron Station, North Carolina, about 10 minutes from the current chapel. The price is approximately $2.8 million. This isn't an improvised gesture. It's the result of 3 years of research, the analysis of 1,300 properties, and the approval of the fraternity's leadership. And the plans are enormous. First, a multi-purpose building with a large chapel, classrooms, and offices. Then, a full-fledged church, capable of seating about 600 people. And more, residences for priests, space for teaching nuns, a school, a cemetery. Not a makeshift chapel, but an entire Catholic campus designed to last for generations. The project leader says it with weighty words. The message, he says, is one of great hope. New bishops, therefore new priests, and now a place where they will live and offer the sacraments. And he adds a long look at history. We've overcome the crisis of 1988, he says in essence. We'll overcome this one too. In 100 years, many will have rediscovered the Mass and the faith here. There's a detail that makes it all even more eloquent. That community has been serving the faithful for over 45 years and has grown to the point where it no longer fits into its own spaces. Not a project born from nothing, but a slowly ripening harvest. And the land search confirms it. 3 years of work, an area of thousands of square kilometers carefully combed, over 1,000 properties examined before the choice was made. Not a spur-of-the-moment decision, but a long-term one. Here are the two images, finally close together. On one side, the closed masses, the removed balustrades, the door ajar. On the other, 26 acres and a rising church. And this, mind you, is not a local episode. It's just the most visible tip of a pattern that runs through the entire Western Church. Let's look at the bigger picture. Because in the same period, on the other side of the United States, another diocese announced the end of Sunday Mass in 7 parishes, due to a lack of priests and faithful. And in France, a study counted 91 contemplative monasteries closed in 20 years, nearly a third of the total. These places of purest prayer are closing, one after another. But within that same study, there's a fact no one can ignore. Among all those monasteries, there's a category that hasn't suffered a single closure, not even one. These are the monasteries that have maintained their liturgy entirely in Latin, 0 closures. While everything around them collapsed, life remained there. This isn't an opinion, it's research evidence. And here, the pattern is fully revealed. Where tradition has been abandoned, churches, convents, and monasteries are closed. Where it has been preserved, land is bought and built. It's not just a question of numbers or sympathy. It's the problem of an entire approach. What was presented as a spring has turned out, in many places, to be a long winter. And this winter, the seeds are sprouting precisely where you least want them. Among those who cling to the same old Mass, the same old sacraments, the same old faith. There are even those who say it openly, at great cost. A seriously ill priest, whom we've already mentioned, publicly defended this world, even at the risk of being silenced. A single voice, certainly, but it's a sign that the courage to acknowledge where there is life is spreading, even within the diocesan clergy. The desire for the sacred cannot be legislated away. But precisely for the sake of truth, we cannot pretend not to see the facts. And the facts tell us that where the sacred is extinguished, the church is emptied, and where it is preserved, it is reborn. It's not even a question of ecclesiastical right or left, of likes or dislikes. It's a question of roots. A tree cut from its roots, no matter how carefully pruned, no longer bears fruit. If this content nourishes your faith, consider subscribing to the channel. Your support helps us continue this service with love and dedication. What do you think? If you liked the video, comment Amen. God bless you.